It's a tragic case that only keeps getting worse for a woman who was once the homecoming queen at her high school. Now she needs help to get around. Isaiah Carey joins us now with this ongoing legal battle. Isaiah.
Yes, this has been going on for years for this family. Now, Michelle Gaines was a victim of a car crash 6 years ago. Her family has been fighting in court to get her some justice, but justice seems elusive in Texas's civil court system.
I think about the way my daughter was before. My daughter actually died that day. But what God gave me back, I love.
This is that daughter, 26-year-old Michelle Gaines. The former Palestine homecoming queen and athlete will never be the same.
She sort of realizes that's all gone now.
It was 2006 when the then 19-year-old was hit by a trailer-mounted oil rig. The truck was being transported from the Palestine area to Corpus Christi. According to court records, that's when the driver who worked for this man, Benny Joe Atkinson, ran through a stop sign and slammed into Michelle's car. She was left in a coma for 6 months, and when she woke, Michelle had brain damage.
It was terrible.
Court records show the driver of the rig was not licensed. The lawsuit alleges the truck, which had limited brakes, was purchased by and being delivered to South Texas businessman Joseph Pritchett. To top it all off, Michelle's attorney Scott Clearman says the driver of the rig admitted in court to doing crack the night before the crash.
Is this rig skidded 100 yards before it hit Mrs. Gaines?
The Gaines family filed a civil lawsuit against Atkinson for his negligence for putting the unlicensed driver behind the wheel of the truck. Pritchett was also sued because the Gaines say he owned the rig and was responsible for transporting it as well.
With that rig without brakes, it's almost impossible that anyone could have stopped it.
Gaines's attorney also presented evidence in the trial of an alleged cover-up to distance Pritchett from the crash. He was seen as the one with deep pockets. Gaines's attorney also says the rig mysteriously disappeared before the trial, and there were a series of cash payments made to Atkinson from Pritchett. The total was nearly $100,000.
And the judgment was in favor of Michelle Gaines.
The jury awarded her $8 million, but that victory would be short-lived. Pritchett appealed, and that's where this story takes a surprising turn. The appellate court ruled in Pritchett's favor. They said Michelle's attorney did not prove Pritchett was liable in the crash.
I could not believe that the court, on a review process, didn't look at the facts favorable to Michelle's case.
That left Gaines back at square one. No judgment and $1 million in medical bills. So now her attorney is trying to get the case heard by the Texas Supreme Court. Clearman says this is a reminder how Texas courts with tort reform have become so anti-plaintiff in civil cases.
In this state, right now, you could be convicted of murder based on the same evidence that we used in this case to prove Michelle's case, but you can't get a civil judgment.
And did I mention Mr. Atkinson and his driver were charged criminally in the crash? The criminal court ordered Atkinson to pay $700,000 in restitution. At 80-plus years old, Michelle's father says Atkinson is doing it in installments, $200 a month.
It's sort of another slap in the face.
A slap that just keeps coming for a young woman who lost so much one day on the roads of Palestine.
Now, we were able to reach Mr. Atkinson. He says he pled guilty for his crime. However, he says he's just guilty by association because he had nothing to do with the crash. As for Mr. Pritchett, we spoke to his attorney just this afternoon, and he says there is a lack of evidence showing his client had any control of transporting the rig. We believe the Court of Appeals got it right. Mr. Pritchett just wasn't involved. And of course, this is their last chance to try and get this through the Supreme Court. That's what they're betting on now, to try and get the Supreme Court to take a second look at this case and move it forward.
Gosh, you look at those pictures and then you look at her and you hear her dad and you just think, how unfair.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We'll see what happens. Isaiah, thank you.